What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech, Peaches, back with another video. Now, if you saw my post in the community tab last night, you will know we are not going to be going into depth on this gorgeous set, okay? The phone ran out of storage that I was recording on, so instead, we're gonna do a client horror story time. But before we get into it, Toya Reese is our subscriber for today. Y'all make sure you are subscribed and turn them notifications on, because if they're off, how will you know when I'm on? How will you know when I'm here, okay? So, first things first, this set is super easy. It's basically a basic set with 4 milk bath nails. If you really want an in-depth tutorial on how to do milk bath type nails, or like dried flower nails, I do have a couple videos already on my channel, so I will probably link it at the end of this video if you're interested in watching that. That'll be specifically for you. Also, don't clown my application. I was planning on doing a video on how to neaten up mistakes that you made during application, because child, we was in a rush, okay? She was supposed to come the next day for her hands because I was removing her toes and gonna give her an acrylic pedicure. However, I was like, you know what? Let's just do your nails now. I'm pretty sure you'll be done in the same amount of time. And so it was crunch time, all right? That's all I'm gonna say. Don't clown me, but y'all are seeing for what it is. There's really no filing or shaping. It's a little bit of e-filing, and that's about it, all right? All right, so this story time, all right? This is gonna be about a client that, oddly enough, was with me for a while. I'm talking about definitely a year, and this took place, honestly, this year, okay? Just a little backstory. So this particular client, right? She comes in, and she typically will get her nails done a shorter length because of her job or whatever. So she comes in, gets a short set. She loves French tip, so she does French tip. Does want to put charms on, and I did tell her hey, do your job. I don't know if it's the best to put those charms on. She was like, do it anyway. I said okay. The charms she chose was butterflies that had the wings were on a spring, so when you flick them, they fly or whatever. And I once again told her hey boo, I don't think this is gonna be the best choice for you, but again, she's like, yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, whatever. I do her feet, and in the process of me doing her feet, after I do her nails, she's playing with the charms so much that one of the wings falls off of the butterfly, and she's like, oh no. And I'm like, okay. She's like, can you fix it? I said, no, I can't fix it because it was on a spring. I don't have any control over how that charm is connected, but you broke it, you know what I'm saying? So I had another client on the way, but now she's asking me to remove the charm. I'm like, it's not going to come off. The only way it's going to come off is that I'm going to have to file it off. This is a metal on metal situation. It's not going to be comfortable. She said, do it anyway. I said, all right, fine. My next client comes in, and it's another regular, and at this point I'm kind of irritated because she did not listen to any of my advice. And honestly, every appointment she kind of does something that makes me go into the next client, but I'd be cool about it, handle it the best I can, and move the freak on. All right, so I'm trying to file the charm off, which I told her was not a good idea, but she did it anyway. And of course, after 10 minutes, she's like, oh, this is kind of hurting. I said, yeah, it is. I told you that it would. So she's like, oh, we could just keep it. But of course, now it looks more ghetto and worse than it did in the first place. All right, so that's a little backstory on how we're even getting to the horror part. All right, fast forward a week, and she books again for another appointment, which is crazy because she just spent $160 on her hands and her feet, right? So she books, she comes in, she's like, oh, I quit my job, so I'm gonna have long nails now. I say, fine. Of course, she wants a long XL stiletto, multicolored French with some heart designs, right? And she's gonna have to get a soak off because she was just here this week. So as we're doing whatever it is that we're doing, right? Whatever, here come the part where it's gonna start to get tricky, okay? So first of all, we came upon the design because I was looking for someone who wanted to do a Powerpuff Girl set, but I actually wanted to draw the characters, which to this day I still not have, okay? And so she was like, yeah, let's do a Powerpuff Girl set, whatever. So I'm thinking we're gonna draw the characters, even though I really didn't want to do that on stiletto nails, but whatever. No, she's like, yeah, I just want a purple, green, and blue French tip, and then the Powerpuff Girl heart. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So I start to do her nails, and once I start to do her nails, I'm like, okay, this is going great, this is going well, all right. So at one point, she takes a break to go to the bathroom. She's in there for mad long, to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm about to go check on her, you know, because also I have another client, and now hella time is took away, and I still have to actually paint the French tip. Like, at this point, all we've done is shaping. So when she comes back, I'm like, oh, like, are you good? She tells me that she was in the bathroom and she poked her booty hole with the stiletto tips and started bleeding. I said, oh damn, but also like, period, because the stiletto was giving stiletto, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, she just kind of looked at me and was like, oh, and I was like, whoops, you know, my bad, whatever. Kind of, I couldn't help but say it. Like, it was kind of funny a little bit, the way she kind of described it or whatever. So at this point, we are getting back to the set, drawing on the French tips or whatever. It's honestly super easy. I don't like the look of French tips on stiletto, but I'm not gonna lie, it came out really, really good. I still do have the video. I've never posted these nails because, like, she irritated me so bad with this nonsense. So eventually I'll probably get around to doing it. But once I'm painting on the French tips and stuff, that's when she's like, oh, by the way, my budget is $140. So you can feel free to bling me out, because she does typically like to get bling. But in my head, right, the way I'm calculating, in my chair, regular white French is $90. Okay. Then we're adding, she's getting the full tip. That's $10 for full tip, which is XL in my chair. Then I charge $10 for stiletto. So already right there you have what, $110? Okay. Now, because it's not just regular French tip, she's getting like multiple colors of French tip. You can add another $10. So that's already $120. And then on top of that, we have these little Powerpuff Girl heart designs on the thumb. So that's another $10. So we're already around $130 at this point in time. And now she's going to tell me that her budget is $140 and to bling her the out. I said, oh, okay. I just was like, oh, okay, girl. Because we're about to be done in 10 minutes, but okay, whatever. So after I do that, I draw the hearts, which, if you're not familiar with the little Powerpuff Girl hearts, it's like where there's like rings of hearts in like different colors sometimes or whatever. Some people do it the same color. You can do it like alternate between the 3 colors of the Powerpuff Girls or whatever it is. So that's what we did. And so, mind you, at this point, my next client is already here, because every single appointment pushes me into the next when it comes to her. Because as we're about to be done, I put the bling on, and all I did for bling is literally a dot of bling on maybe like 2 fingers, like, right? And then I did like a small arrangement on 2 other fingers. So maybe total there might have been like 6 fingers of bling, roughly. So I'm like, okay. So at that point, right? Whew, I'm sorry, guys. So at that point, I'm like, okay, boo, like, you're done. She's like, oh, well, I thought the fingers with the thumbs were gonna be French tip. I'm like, oh, you said you wanted it to be the hearts. She's like, I do, but I wanted to still connect like it's French tip. I was like, oh, next time you should be more specific, because you didn't say that. Yes, I did. I did say that. I'm like, you didn't. You said you wanted French tips and the thumbs to be hearts. And she's like, well, I meant I want the French tip to be shaped as hearts. Like, okay. So I had to go in and basically draw these stupid lines that from the hearts and connect it as if it was a French tip, which really honestly did nothing, because it did not look like a French tip. If that makes sense. Like, I don't even know how to explain that, but she was like, okay, thank you. Like, okay, cool. So at this point, I'm like glad to be done. My next client is here for repair or whatever. So by this point, we're about like 15 minutes into the next appointment, which I was so glad it was another regular who it was going to be my last. So, you know, all the way done, took her videos. I'm like, okay, cute. Now time for payment. Mind you, she said that her budget for her nails was $140. She did not say anything about including that in her soak off. Most people will usually say, or I'll ask them, like, if they want certain things that they don't normally get, I'm like, oh, do you have a budget for today? But this girl, she literally just spent $160 last week. She spends the same amount every time. She always gets French tip with bling or design, something. So she's, come on, like, she know the pricing, right? So normally people will say like they want to include the soak off in her budget, whatever. She, like I said, she waited until we were about 10 minutes from being done to say the budget for her nails is $140, okay, and that she wanted bling. So at this point, when I told her, her final total with her nails and her soak off was $143, y'all. I'm not even kidding. So basically that means everything was $153, and I subtracted her $10 deposit, which means she was paying $143 at the time of the appointment. Okay, so when I told her $143, she's like, oh, I have $140 cash. I don't have any loose ones or anything. Most people would just put the $3 on their card or something, but I also do take Cash App. Well, at that time I wasn't, because Square wasn't taking Cash App, and I didn't want to get like no extra taxes than I already do or whatever. So at the same time, we both looked at each other, be like, oh, okay, like Cash App. She was like, oh, can I Cash App the $3? I said, that's perfect, yeah. So because this client had been with me for a full-on year at this point, I trusted her, like she pays me in full every time, whatever. I trusted her. The next client was already waiting for about 15 minutes. And so, honestly, closer to 20, because like I said, there was the butthole incident in the bathroom, and then the little extra she decided to add on the end that, whatever. So, at this point, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, Cash App it to me. So she got up so I can clean the table and stuff. And honestly, I was thinking that she was in the process of doing it as she was walking to the car, because I live in Sacramento, and there's like other little areas around Sacramento that people would consider like not Sacramento, but I guess if you're not here, you wouldn't know. But anyway, she lived about between 30 to 40 minutes away, in a way, you know what I'm saying? So definitely not in Sacramento, but like not hella far away either, So I'm thinking like, okay, by the time she gets home, like in the next 30 minutes, this is going to be cash out to me, no problem, whatever, because I'm doing a repair, so obviously my hands are busy. So the repair gets done. I look at my phone. I don't see a notification. But at this point, I'm thinking like, well, I haven't used Cash App in quite a while, so I'm just going to message her when I get to my boyfriend's house, because when I looked, I saw like a red notification inside of Cash App. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's like there's something pending, or maybe there's something I can't see, whatever. So I get to his house, and at the same time, I wanted to message her about a song. Like, we were listening to songs during her appointment that was kind of like really dumb, really silly, and I wanted to show my boyfriend one of them, but I couldn't remember it. So I had messaged her. I'm like, hey babe, what's the name of that one song we were listening to? Also, I did not receive the $3 via Cash App, so do you mind sending that to me right now as well? So she sent me the name of the song, and she was like, oh, I thought my nails were $143. I said, yes, they are they are $143. So you paid $140, so you still owe $3, remember? And then so she just left me on red, doesn't say anything. So I think she might have said okay, so I don't know, something like that, if anything at all. At this point, it's 8 o'clock. Her appointment started around 4 something, or maybe sooner than that. We finished her nails probably like around 6 something, 7 something. So it's 8. I'm like, okay, let me give it a little time. By 10 or 11 p.m., I still didn't see anything, and she still didn't say nothing to me. So at this point, I'm like, okay, let me just request it, because maybe she didn't forgot, right? She didn't forgot. I requested it, end up going to bed. Do you know I woke up at 7 a.m. and do you want to know what was not there? My $3. And it might sound petty to some of y'all, but to me, it's really the principle of the fact of, you said that you're going to pay your full balance, right? I did all this work, and there's $3 remaining. If you go to Target or Walmart, if you don't have $3 there, you're not even going to really leave with the product. I mean, unless you're just going to straight up take it or something. You see what I'm saying? And then for you to be a loyal client, I was just kind of like, damn, why did you even say that you was going to pay, Like, it was just kind of weird to me. So 7 a.m. there's still nothing, but I could see that she was like active on Instagram. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I feel like she's really I feel like she's kind of dodging me a little bit, but I'm like, it's 7 a.m. It's a little early, but I think I may have messaged her like, hey babe, just to let you know, I still did not see that Cash App notification come through. I'm not sure if it's Cash App itself, but if you need another way to pay the $3, you can send it through the deposit link. Because when my clients book, they get a link that's emailed to my Square site, and they can pay with whatever card they have. It's super duper easy. It takes Google Pay, Apple Pay, and also if you just have it will autofill your card as well if you normally pay through that link. Okay, silent, completely silent. So at this point, I'm starting to get mad because I just went about my day. I was working a short day, and so about 1 p.m. nothing. Like, I don't even know if she read my message, but I could see that she was still being active on Instagram. So it just made me really irritated, and I had to ask my friend, I said, am I tripping or no? Because I feel like she's really ducking and dodging, you know? And what made me even more mad is this is not the first time that she was short money. I can't even lie to you. The very first appointment that she had about, a year or whatever ago, she ended up being late, and she did not have the $15 for the late fee. So she was able to pay for her nails, but the $15 late fee she did not have. So she needed someone to pay it for her. So she was like, okay, I'm going to have somebody Cash App to you, or I need them to Cash App me the money so I can Cash App it to you. So I was waiting about 30 minutes after the appointment, and, because she did leave because it was night and she did need to get home. So I kind of was just stepping out on faith that the Lord was going to handle it and take care of me. And it did come through within 30 minutes, but that was a year ago. So I'm like, surely we not back on that hype. Okay. Also, this color, you guys, is not polish. I lilac you a lot, just so y'all know. Okay, just so y'all know. So I had messaged her at like 1:30 p.m. and I said, hey love, I just wanted to let you know that I will be raising your deposits for the next time, and you will not be allowed to book with me until the $3 is paid in full, as you do still have a remaining balance from your last appointment. I'm really sorry to do this to you, but it's not your first time that you have not paid a balance in full. I know that was a while ago, but basically, like, this is what it's gonna have to be until you pay the $3. Once again, you would think that for $3 you would go ahead and just pay your nail tech, to be honest, especially if that's your nail tech for real, and you've been going there for a while. And I'm very accommodating of people, especially if they're my clients. I take care of my clients because my clients take care of me, right? Of course, she messaged back so fast, a long ass paragraph saying, wow, you are so unprofessional. You are so this and that. You are badgering me over $3. I literally paid for my appointment. You are trying to charge me $160. I'm not understanding. I told you my budget was $140. I don't know why you went over that. This, then the other. You might want to watch who you're talking to, because you're about to lose a really, really good client. This, then the other. You are very just left field. I was shocked to see that. And honestly, when I did see it, I was chilling with my homegirl, who was also a nail tech, and we was like having lunch or whatever. And I was like, do you see this? Like, am I tripping? It was so unexpected, y'all. So I did respond back, and I was like, hi love, I understand why you feel that way, but, well, actually, I don't even know if I wrote that, but even in times that you're irritated and upset, you still got to keep that professionalism. Because I'll tell you what, can't nobody screenshot me, no matter what they've said. Can't nobody screenshot me and post me talking about I talk to people crazy and I'm unprofessional. You're not going to be able to do it. If anything, what's this? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I heard some random noises. But you're not going to be able to put that on me, okay? So I texted back. I was like, hi, love. Your balance was not $160. I'm not charging you nowhere near that. Your balance before the deposit was taken out was $153, making your balance $143 due at the time of service. You paid $140, which leaves $3 left over. Please keep in mind that 10 minutes before we were done is when you told me your budget for your nails, which you did not include your soak off in that. I apologize for the miscommunication. I would say maybe next time be a little bit more clear on if you do want that to include, all services in your budget or just the nails, as it sounded like you were just talking strictly about your nails. Mind you, she comes to me all the time. So you already know when you say, hey, this is my budget for my nails, it's always just the nails. It never includes the soak off. So that's why I was so confused. So I told her, I said, I think she may have said something else. And I was like, you know what? I do understand, like, you are a good client, but please keep in mind, you are not a perfect client. There are things that come up during appointments that I am very accommodating for you for. Please keep in mind also that yesterday night, we did agree that you would pay via Cash App. You actually suggested it before you left, which means you had the intent on paying the $3, but you were just refusing to. I really hope that you are able to understand where I'm coming from, that because it is the principle that you have a remaining outstanding balance that needs to be paid in full before I am comfortable basically doing your nails again. And I was like, once again, you were a good client, but hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. And I just put like a little heart or something like that. And of course, never heard from her to this day. That was months ago. It was to the point where, of course, she left me on red. She unfollowed me. And basically, that little Cash App request that I did, you want to know, it expired, of course. But I was really just so confused because, you guys, I have not had that happen to me. The people that I have had that have not paid or, done little janky stuff, it's people who are like first time clients, just randomly. Like, it doesn't happen that often. So I was really shook to see that a client of mine for, a year plus would do this. Not to mention that the reason I even met her is because I did a little talk to the incoming nail techs at the school that I had went to. So, y'all, I apologize for the damn dogs. So I really met her back in like 2019. Yeah, I think 2019, early 2020 was when I first ever seen her. A bunch of the students followed me on Instagram. And so when she booked with me the very first time, she was like, oh man, I remember seeing you in my class because she was going to Cosmo school, cosmetology or whatever. So it was just honestly really, really crazy. And I really didn't know where that came from. So I would say that is a horror story that, like, when I tell people, like, when people ask me, like, what's a crazy story, or like, what's a time that somebody didn't pay, and I've told clients and stuff, obviously, we laugh and joke about it now because it's so petty. It's so petty that it's dumb. It's dumbfounding to think that, like, girl, $3, it's literally $3 that you owe, not even $3 that, came up out of nowhere. I broke it down for her, how everything was charged. So I don't know. You let me know in the comments below if you think that this was I being petty? Was I being unprofessional? Or do you feel like it was just a miscommunication? Or do you feel like, let me know if you've had any experiences like this. Because, like I said, you always got to remain professional no matter what. Even if somebody is hooting and hollering at you with the messages, don't do it back. I don't care what none of these Instagram nail techs or hair girls say. Just because it's your business don't mean you can act any type of way, because that is the fastest way to lose business. And honestly, you will never grow to a length of what you feel like you should be at. And the reason is because you keep being so doggone unprofessional. All that stuff matters, if that makes sense. So yeah, I want to say this happened over the summer. Honestly, it's August. I'll say maybe that happened like back in May or June, like something like that. And honestly, yeah, every time anyone asks me, I'm like, oh, what's the time you didn't get paid, et cetera, I tell them $3. They be like, there's no way I would just owe $3 and be trying to blame it, talking about I'm charging something I'm not charging. Like, girl, come on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this this video. This is not the client in the video. Oh, well, obviously, because this is not stilettos, it's not XL, and this is not French tip. But yeah, I'm looking to do more story times. You guys, I am in how many days? 7 days. Literally 1 week, I will be giving my workshop in San Jose, okay, for Nail Pro 2022. If you're interested, the link is in the description. Purchase your tickets if you want to have a workshop on shaping and filing, all right? And as usual, I'll see you guys in the next one.